Yo, yo, yo. This is your boy Thorough, and this is the My Dog Podcast. Today, I got a good one for y'all. This guy, after every game, we are patiently waiting on him to drop a video. So I'm just waiting on him to get in line. He's at work right now. I got your boy DJ Hazmatt. He is in the building. I just see him walking in. So we're going to get to it.
The Browns at the Baltimore 14. This is Chubb. Chubb to the 10. Breaks it to the near side. Looking for the end zone, and he'll get there.
A little adversity there on that first kick.
First carry of the game for Nick Chubb. Chubb is inside the 30, the 20. For Hyde. And Mayfield gets it into the hands of Chubb. His third carry today. His first one was a big one, and so is this one. Chubb.
Chubb with running room. Chubb to the 40. On his way to the end zone.
He should have been working with the quarterbacks all along here.
On second down, it's Chubb. Nick Chubb across the 40. One man to beat. Still going. Chubb will take this all the way. 92 yards for a Browns touchdown.
Yes, yes, yes. This is the My Dogs Podcast where my opinions are my opinions. And now let me bring in who y'all came to see. Y'all didn't come to see me. Let me bring in who y'all came to see. What's going on?
Yo, can you hear me?
Hey.
Can you hear
now
me?
I can hear you good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh
Yeah.
man, it's a pleasure to have you on. The great, the legend. You are. Do you know what you mean to the Browns fans? You and your videos.
I know what it means to me, and if the Browns fans are anything like me, then yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Let me introduce y'all. If y'all don't know, he's a DJ radio host in your own city, Cleveland. He's representing Cleveland. He's forgiving. He was born in Maryland, but he was raised in Cleveland. He only represents Cleveland. This is DJ Hazmatt. This is the guy that y'all go on after every game, after a win, after a loss. Y'all tuning in to see what he got to say because he don't hold no punches. DJ Hazmatt, what's going on? How long you been a Browns fan?
All my life, man. And let me clarify the whole, I guess, what people may think my ties to Maryland. Okay. I was born in Havertide Grace, Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
But my father, whose whole family, the majority of his family is from Cleveland, moved us to Cleveland probably when I was around 3-4 years old. So I grew all the way up right over West 130th in Bel Air on the west side. I graduated from John Marshall High School. I went to Whitney Young. I'm from Cleveland. You understand what I'm saying?
From Cleveland.
So I didn't just start liking the Browns because you started hearing me on the radio in 2008. I did. I'm not young. I graduated a while back, and then
Me too.
I did move away and was gone for a little while, living in the Maryland area, and then I eventually moved back to Cleveland in 2008 when I got the gig on the radio, and it goes from there. But that's where people kind of get it confused. They're like, well, he's not from Cleveland, but he rep Cleveland. Nah, I grew up in Cleveland. My mother drove the RTA bus. She drove the 6 down Euclid all the way up Windermere. I used to have to catch the RTA bus to school when I was going to Whitney Young from the west side. I had to catch the 78 to 150th and Imperius, get on the Rapid, come all the way downtown, get on the 15, go all the way towards Warrensville to get out on Harvard. I got family all over the east side, west side. So I just want to clarify that for the people that maybe didn't know the full story.
Okay. Yes. So we're gonna clarify all these rumors. He was born and raised he was born in Maryland, but he was raised in Cleveland. He went to school since elementary. So y'all better quit that. Now we got one more rumor that I need to
from kindergarten all the way up through high school.
Okay, I got one more that I think it's you. It might be a myth, but you can tell me.
Okay.
Were you on a wire?
Yes.
Talk about it.
Well, I was an extra on The Wire. You know, The Wire was filmed in Baltimore, and I did live in the Baltimore area. I started my radio career in Baltimore, and back in '99, I was interning. You know, it was around the same time Radio One started being in Cleveland, because it's the same company that owns the stations in Baltimore that owns Radio One as a whole. So, but yeah. They filmed The Wire for several seasons, and you know, when they're filming a show like that in the city you live in, they're filming all over the city. You know what I'm saying? So I was into acting. I still am. I just haven't been doing a lot of it lately, but back then I was doing a lot more of it. So I was doing stage plays and getting involved in different things. So, you know, my name was in the casting agency's database. So I would get calls to come and do background, which means being an extra. And so I was an extra on The Wire 5 times.
Okay.
In, you know, various different times of The Wire, but I could only show you me once.
You remember the episode?
Yeah, I do. The episode where you could see me is the episode when they set Omar up like he had murdered that male lady. And they got him to jail. And it was like all of the dudes in jail was people that was his enemies, right? So when they were walking him through the general population of the jail, I was one of the guys that was like trying to get at Omar.
How was that?
I mean, it's cool. I mean, I think seeing the end results is always cool when you're being an extra, but the day itself, it's not as fun as people think. I mean, you could be excited to be on set, but it's a long day of, you really just sit around all day getting to know all the other extras until they call. Until
a waiting game.
Yeah, so hurry up and wait. We hold y'all over here. You know, they'll feed you. You'll be sitting around everybody else, and then they'll bring you to set when it's time, and you know you'll be explained what's going on or whatever, what the scene is about. But you know, I'd much rather have some lines, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, be in
actually it. Speaking. But I have friends that went on to be very successful at acting, starting from Baltimore. One of my good friends was actually a main character on The Wire. He played the character Monk, who was one of Marlowe's henchmen. So his name is Kwame Patterson, and I did a lot of like those stage plays I was talking about. We did stuff together. We did independent films together, and we were friends. And Gabrielle Dennis started out with us back in I was in an independent movie with her back in DC. A director out of DC, he made a movie called He Can Get It, where my friend Kwame Patterson played lead, and she played like his assistant. He was like a real estate agent in that movie, and she played his assistant, and I played his best friend. So that's when I met Gabrielle Dennis, who's now all over the place. You know, you see her on the Old Spice commercials with Deion Cole, and you know, she's on the HBO's Black Lady Sketch Show, and you know what I mean. So we all started back then, but they took the leap of faith, moved to LA, and you know,
and you became a rapper.
Well, I've always been into hip hop. I was DJing and doing hip hop long before I ever got on the radio. I started DJing in Cleveland when I was 15 years old. When I realized I wasn't going to be a football player. Because it was because I had a pretty bad ankle injury playing football, and you know, one of them Gordon Hayward type ankle injuries.
What position?
When I ain't played much. I played this injury. I'm sorry, my phone was falling down. This injury happened to me before I got a chance to really, but I would play receiver when I played.
Okay. You got any speed?
I did back then, but
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Back then, you had a little wiggle to you.
Yeah, it's most importantly.
Okay,
catch that thing. Catch the
we gonna get into them hands with our Browns because they need some people with some hands on that team.
I think they have them. I think we have some now. So we'll see.
Okay. So how long do it take you to make these videos? Or now wait. Before you get into that, I got his YouTube. His YouTube is Hey Has TV 7156. It's at the bottom. It's strolling at the bottom, y'all. Please go support him. And if y'all a Browns fan, y'all probably already on there. Or y'all like me, he just switched up. He got like 2 different pages. I was following one. I'm like, what happened to him? He was on a whole other page on me.
No. So with the YouTube, when I first started making the YouTube channels, I didn't really understand what I was doing. So I have these other YouTube channels, but I settled in on the one YouTube channel, which is Hey Has TV. And that's where I put it. It's just Hey Has TV with nothing else. And that's where I put the majority of all of any videos I do now. I'm focusing on that particular page or channel per se.
Okay.
So
I put the numbers behind it because when I put the Hey Has TV, other things popped up, but because you don't really have like a picture. So, but if you go on your page and you look at it, the 7156, you put that in there, it goes straight to you.
Okay, so, you taught me something.
Yeah, so that goes straight to you.
You taught me something.
So I'm gonna show you something that I found on YouTube about you. I got a world premiere for all you Browns fans. This is the beginning season. This is what he feel about this season. Let's get
home games on the Cleveland Browns schedule. What up? It's your dog Hazmatt.
Hey, Haz.
Before I get started, gotta say rest in peace to the great Jim Brown.
Jim Brown, the GOAT.
Best to ever do it. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
We about to go on this 2023 schedule journey all the way to week 18.
Let's go.
I'm taking you up through the Browns schedule, all of the games, starting with the Jets in August at the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
We'll be down the road in Canton for that exhibition.
Yeah.
Then it's Commanders, Eagles, Chiefs preseason expeditions. Week 1, Bengals. Everybody think they so thorough, but I bet you didn't know we 4-1 versus Burrow in the Battle of Ohio since he and Chase were drafted, and we only took an L because Deshaun Watson was practicing. Week 2 in Pittsburgh Monday night. Get your tickets, yeah. Miles ready to strike, cause he heard it was a picket there. And we ain't scared of Harris, Najee. I'm feeling confident. We'll smear the Squealers all over Hinesfield. Condiment. Get it? Or you slow and need to catch up? Condiment. Week 3, more than Tennessee with a condiment. As we dominantly destroy a Titan for real. Whether D. Henry, Malik, Will Levis, or Tannehill. Week 4, bring Lamar and Baltimore to Cleveland. OBJ there too, that's all the more reason to give a Redbird Raven a dog pound beating. Take a bye week 5, come back still eating. Week 6, the 49ers gonna be the feast. Feed my dogs rice-a-roni San Francisco treats. Week 7, I bet we give the Colts a smackdown. Lay them to rest in Indy since they call it nap town. Week 8, we gon' offer Seahawk when we battle. Give 12 a nightmare, have them sleepless in Seattle. Week 9, back home for Lil Kyler and the Cardinals. Them angry birds gon' find our biters worse than our barking though. Week 10, we off to Baltimore to make a statement. It's Dog Pound Nation, we don't flock with the Ravens. Week 11, we back home for Pittsburgh. Right before Thanksgiving, the ass whipping is getting served. Week 12, we don't give a damn about a bucking Bronco, Russell Wilson, Denver, or their new head honcho. Week 13, we at the LA Rams, yo. They bought a Super Bowl and now their team is in shambles. 14,
Jacksonville.
quarterback
Trevor.
Should a Jaguar survive in a rabid dog pound?
Never.
15, this just in. I don't care. At home, better beat up on a Chicago Bear. And Houston, you have a problem. Week 16, the return of Deshaun Watson, your homecoming king. Week 17, Thursday night, I'm taking all bets. We'll fly higher than Aaron Rodgers and them Jets. They Super Bowl contenders, why? Cause Rodgers that bad man. Jets only fly at the bowl during the anthem. 18, we gon' finish right where we started. Beating Cincinnati, leaving Bungle fans broken hearted. Got talent at key positions, but for some strange reason, they believing in every team except for Cleveland this season. On par for the Browns hate, more of the same. In 23, we gon' make them put some respect on our name.
Yes, that was nasty. Oh,
Thank you.
Nasty. That's like that interview I saw you did with Snoop way back in the day when you went freestyle with him.
Yeah. Man. That's cool, man. That those moments, I had a lot of moments like that in radio that didn't get on social media. And yeah, a lot of
Okay.
celebrities. You know, in my radio career, like I said, I've been in radio since '99. So, but prior, go ahead.
What's some of the biggest names that you met doing the radio? I see a lot of names. You got a lot of names.
It's a lot, man. I mean,
Yeah. Well, okay.
A lot of people you can think of. The biggest names, I'll say, Jay-Z, Kanye. Most of the people you can name that was out between 99 and now. I'm still meeting people because I still work in radio. You know what I mean? I'm the executive producer for the Posted on the Corner show hosted by Incognito and Mrs., which is syndicated. And it in Cleveland and as well as Atlanta, which is where we broadcast from, which is where I'm at now. And we just got in Houston and Dallas. So the show is growing. And so, I'm still meeting I've been meeting celebrities for the majority of my adult life. Because before I got into radio, like I said, I was into the music and rapping. I started rapping. I started rapping back in, like the early 90s. You know what I mean? I was with a rap group and we were trying to get on. You know what I mean? We was traveling and, going in the studio, putting our demos together. It was 2 rappers and 1 producer who I'm still good friends with today. And, things, we got as far as getting a manager, and they was bringing us up to Jersey, and we were going in the studio recording songs and stuff. I used to battle guys on the radio in Baltimore. So
they having fun with you.
Yeah, it's my coworker. That's the host Incognito who Posted on the Corner show in the background playing. They knew I was about to do this stream, y'all, and they know. So now they messing with me. But our show is on right now, 7 to midnight.
Yes, yeah. Go ahead, talk your talk. What did it say? 7 a minute. Go ahead.
7 to midnight. The Posted on the Corner show, weeknights in Cleveland. It comes on from 7 to midnight on 107 Z1079. So if you're in the Cleveland area, Z1079. If you're in Atlanta, it's Hot 1079. If you in Houston and Dallas, we got 97.9, the Box, the Beat. The show has been doing very well. We're also in Baltimore and Philly and Raleigh, North Carolina, Detroit, all of Ohio though, Columbus, Cincinnati. So and I've been, as far as radio, outside of that show, I've been with the radio company for over 20 years doing production and stuff like that. So.
Okay, I got one for you. Now, you was in radio when you was in Baltimore when the Baltimore Ravens won their championship.
Yeah.
Did you go to their parade?
I wasn't at the parade, but I will tell you a funny story about that. Because I was there when the Browns moved.
Yes.
And became the Ravens.
Uh-huh.
And so that was a weird space for me because I had been living there now for a good 7-8 years. And I didn't know if the Browns was going to return. Well, they let us know that the Browns was coming back in 99. So that made me say, all right, because, my chest was big. When I first moved out there, 88, 89, the Browns were still going to championship games.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So when I show up, the people I'm meeting, I'm able to walk tall about the Browns at that time. You know what I'm saying? So, they had a couple down years and they made it back to the playoffs in mid-90s. So I'm able to speak differently about the Browns at that time. And I'm meeting people. Now, mind you, Baltimore, they didn't have a team. And the people in that area that I was meeting, they liked any and every. I knew somebody for every team in the NFL because they didn't have a home team at the time.
Yes.
And their team had been gone since 83 when the Colts left. So they had already been without football for a decade or so. And so but they still had the Baltimore Colts marching band. The Baltimore Colts marching band was still in existence. So that was like a staple, legendary thing in Baltimore. The Baltimore Colts marching band never disbanded, even though the team left. So fast forward to them becoming the Ravens, and I'm like, no, I'm a Browns fan, and I've even gone as far as to go to the preseason games, heckling and rooting against the Ravens. I actually went to jail for that.
You went to jail.
I went to jail at a Ravens preseason game, going too hard and drunk against the Ravens. Got into it with some other fan, threw something at me, and yeah. So I've been antagonizing the Ravens fans from within Baltimore the whole time. However, I'm on the radio, so I really couldn't just do it like that on the radio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
So the Ravens were doing good, and this is really. So I got to give credit to the local morning show at that time. They used to do this thing. They called themselves the Breakfast Flakes, and they used to do songs about the Ravens. And they even let me get involved sometimes. So I've been on a couple of songs rapping about the Ravens back then. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is partially my home now. I lived there for a long time. I got 2 children that were born in Baltimore. My oldest son is a Raven fan. And on the night that the Ravens won the Super Bowl, I was on the radio that very night. I was scheduled to go on at 10 o'clock on a Sunday night, and I was doing like a Love Zone show back then. And I remember getting a call on Super Bowl Sunday because I went to a Ravens Super Bowl party. I even had on a Peter Bullwear jersey that night. You know, I'm with the city, so I'm here. I did get to experience what it's like for a city to win a Super Bowl championship and experience that. It was awesome to actually be a part of that. You know what I mean? And really be a part of it because I made the song when the Ravens won the Super Bowl. Yeah, and I was there, and I was on the radio, supposed to do a slow show. My boss calls me because he was in Tampa Bay at the Super Bowl. Like, I didn't think about this. The Ravens winning, and we just switch it up. I'm sending the DJ down, and I just want y'all to just, you know, celebrate with the city. So I had to celebrate with the city of Baltimore on the radio, take callers, and get hyped with the city on the night that they won.
Which one was more crazier, Baltimore winning the championship or the Cavaliers winning?
I think the Cavaliers winning for me because you know it's more sentimental to me. Yeah, because you know my father's a Cavs fan. My father actually passed away a few months before the Cavs won. So he didn't get a chance.
Mine did too.
He didn't get a chance to see it, and I had to, you know, I always regret that night we were downtown, just in the midst of it. You know what I'm saying? Like all through near the fire truck that everybody was climbing on and all that type of stuff. We were right there. You know what I mean? So I had this bracelet that I was given when he passed away on that night, and through the excitement, the bracelet ends up missing, and I lost my daddy bracelet. You know what I mean? Wow. So. But yeah, I was in the streets. By the time the Ravens won the Super Bowl, I had went to a Super Bowl party, but I had to get on the radio. So I had to leave it early. I couldn't stay to the very end of the game. So I had to go to work. So I was back in the studio like this while everybody was out there partying in the streets.
Oh, I was there.
Huh? You was in Baltimore?
Was there.
Where was you?
Oh,
you talking about Cleveland? Okay,
Cleveland.
Yeah. I was talking about for the Ravens.
Oh, okay.
I was because you know with the radio we had the Super Bowl parties going on. They was doing it big, but I had to leave the Super Bowl party early to come back to the radio station and get on the air, do my job.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't out there in the streets. I could see kind of and hear it going on, but I was in the studio, you know, getting the excitement of the callers and doing a radio show. But for the Cavs, I was literally out there in the street with everybody. They brought me on the Roland Martin show the next day to talk about it. It was a good experience. So yeah, for me, it's always gonna be Cleveland, man.
Okay. So now we're gonna before I have to let you go, we gotta talk some Browns. Okay, Now what do you think about Watson this year?
And I can spare a few extra minutes, bro. I'm good.
Okay.
What do I think about Watson this year? Well, I'll tell you this. I am expecting him to be the Deshaun Watson that he's always been prior to the troubles he had and the time off. I'm expecting him to be the type of football player he's been his whole life. I don't see where, that much time off could just, Michael Vick went to jail.
Yeah,
came back and it took him a little bit, but then he got nice again. But he was older. This ain't the case with Deshaun Watson. He's still young in his prime of his life, and he's always been a gifted football player. So I don't expect that not to be the case. You understand?
And if he don't look good, who do you blame anybody? Is it on him or the coaching, the offensive line, the offense? What is?
I mean, to be honest, I've been a season ticket holder since we was going 0-16. You know what I mean? So
yes,
I'm looking at it like this. And we all know the history of the Browns and what the misfortunes that we've had. And I feel like if the Browns can't be in the Super Bowl contending mix with a roster like this, then there is definitely, I'm going to start believing in the dark cloud. You know what I'm saying? Because
yes.
I don't want to believe that. I want to believe that it's just been poor management, poor coaching, poor play from players. And I don't necessarily, I feel like if you got a great coaching staff, you might not be a Super Bowl contending team, but you'll be a consistently winning team, regardless of what your roster has on it. And that's just how I look at it. Because I think, through the years, obviously our quarterback situation has gotten ridiculous. And, by me being in another area for most of those years, the early on years that the Browns had been bad, you got to understand, like I said, when I got to Maryland, the Browns were still up here. They were still a team that was respected.
Yes.
So then they leave and come to Maryland, become the Ravens, and they go, they did what they did, won a Super Bowl and stuff. And the Browns had come back to be this, whatever this has been.
Yeah.
And so I start off bragging. Now I got to defend all the time because I'm in an area where there's no Browns fans. So anytime I'm getting with my dudes on a Sunday to go watch games and stuff, and I'm around fans from every team but the Browns, I'm the Browns fan. Now the Browns can't back my words no more. But I'm still hollering. I'm still talking trash. I ain't about to let you.
That's what we do.
Right, but no. I was taken aback when I moved back here. Like, okay, now I'm about to be around the Browns fans. But the attitude of the fan had shifted when I came back because of the losing. It wasn't the same type of fan that I was used to. I'm a fan who was, no matter what, I gotta stand up for my Browns. When I get back here, I'm listening to local media, and the thing is, I'm hearing more negative stuff about the Browns at home than I was hearing out of town. And I was just like, wait a minute. And I had to kind of, come to the grips with what the shift in the mentality of the fan. It was shocking to me. Because I was gone for 20 years before I came back.
Wow.
And then so to see that this is what the fans had become, I wasn't pleased. Because and so that's where so now I'm getting into it with Browns fans. I'm delusional. You this or this or that or whatever, because I'm being positive or I'm supporting the players, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not, I came back to this culture of we gonna either run the coach out of town or we running the quarterback out of town. And it's just from my perspective and how I'm seeing it. Is it looks crazy to me because I wasn't here the whole time, and I wasn't here to experience the actual loss. I was actually getting a gain.
Yeah.
Because the team was moving to me. You know what I'm saying? And in my own little world of being a Browns fan, the team was moving to where I was already at. You understand what I'm saying? So I just have a slightly different perspective, and in particularly because the city I was living in was Baltimore or the area, you know what I mean? So, but I never stopped supporting the Browns. I just didn't support them from a negative perspective. Go ahead.
Do you think the fans could contribute to some of the losses? I don't know how that might be, but it just when sometimes you're like, man, they're just gonna boo regardless. I don't care.
Well, I guess, I was watching First Take today, and I saw JJ Redick say to Stephen A, hey, they got on the subject of Stephen A never being a high level player.
Mm-hmm.
And that just speaks to not being able to relate to what a player goes through in his journey to become a professional athlete, and everything they got to deal with, however hard they got to work to get to the level of being a pro athlete. So for me, and when I talk to people, and people definitely have called me ridiculous, but I just, like I said, this negativity that was being spewed throughout the media and everything, and how they would get on these quarterbacks, and it's like you're losing sight of the person that's inside of the uniform, and how, yes, I have a son now who's trying to play sports, and I see how things get in his head and affect his game. You understand what I'm saying? And people think that just because you become a professional athlete that you're supposed to be able to tune all of that out.
You ain't got no feelings.
I think the perfect example of that would be Brian Hoyer. So Brian Hoyer, nobody is saying he's a great quarterback. Nah, people want to label him as this or that or whatever. I just look at the end result of what was happening in the games when he was playing. We were winning. And that's really all that matters to me at the end of the day. I don't care how it looks. I don't care who's doing it.
Brian Hoyer was decent.
He was, but the fans couldn't accept him because of what they perceive him to be. And that was, in most people's eyes, a career backup. He's not a franchise quarterback in their eyes. So they would never settle for Brian Hoyer winning. Even though he was winning, they just said, no, I want the quarterback I want a quarterback like what this team has. They're telling me we gotta have this type of quarterback or we can't win a Super Bowl. And so when you buy into that mentality, and so Brian Hoyer, let's just think about this. Let's just go into the person. If I'm Brian Hoyer, I'm from Cleveland, right? My dream has come true. I just got a blessed opportunity to play for my hometown team that I love and grew up watching. And here I am, I'm the quarterback. Guess what? We're actually winning. I got Josh Gordon out here shining, right? So then they draft Johnny Manziel. Okay. Fans at that time want to attach to a name brand versus the end result of the game, in my opinion.
Yes.
Name brand over what's happening. We're winning, but they was clamoring for Johnny Manziel the whole time.
Yes.
We got to see what we got. I'm like, I see what we got, a 7-4 record.
Yep.
So let's hold off on that Johnny Manziel stuff. Nah. Brian Hoyer is only a career backup. We'll never go anywhere. We got to know what we knew. We got to know. You don't want to keep going with a 7-4 record to see if we can push into the playoffs and see how far we can go. Once you get in the playoffs, to me, it's a crapshoot who gonna make it to the Super Bowl. You ain't just gonna make it because you won all your games that year. You know what I mean? You gonna make it because you got hot. How many times did the New York Giants get in as a wild card and end up the Super Bowl champions? You know what I'm saying? So, but as you're doing this, you're getting on Brian Hoyer. You're nitpicking. You're calling him out. You're saying all of this stuff. And you think he don't hear that?
Yes. Yep.
So imagine you're him and like, damn, my hometown don't even want me to play here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to stay focused. But
Yeah.
it eventually got to him. He started playing bad. In my opinion. People will be like, don't blame that on the fans. Come on, fans. Let's take some responsibility here in this almost 3-decade-long mess that's been going
Ever
on.
since Brian Hoyer, for some reason the Browns fans love the backup quarterback. Like, man, just have some faith in the starter. We've been wanting the second string to come in so bad. But another thing I've been thinking about the Browns, and you follow them closely too. So tell me this. I always feel about a team and about my Browns, our Browns. A lot of teams win because they have leadership. Do we have any leaders? Do we have a leader on offense, and do we have a leader on defense that's going to keep these players accountable? Do we who is on offense that's going to keep everybody in shape, like somewhat like Josh Landry? I mean, Juice used to do.
Now, don't get me started on that how that whole situation played out. But it's got to come from Deshaun Watson. But I think he's done it before.
Yeah.
And I think naturally he's a leader and in the locker room because we've seen him do it in college, at Houston. Guys gonna follow him, yo. So that's the guy I'm expecting to be the leader. I'm putting it all on Deshaun Watson, to be honest. I've never been super critical of a quarterback, and I respect what Deshaun Watson's resume brings.
Yes.
However, because of how things have been and how you've gotten on all these other quarterbacks, I need, since we had to give up what we gave up to have him.
Yes, we gave up a lot.
Then I'm gonna need those results to come quicker. Now, I've been more patient with quarterbacks in the past because I feel like, hey, if you building a team through the draft, these players are young, they need time to develop. You know what I'm saying? I didn't understand why we weren't satisfied with being a playoff contending team by the third year of a quarterback's career. But that wasn't enough, apparently. So, and it's not about names to me. It's about the end results of what's happening on the field. It's about making wise decisions, coaching the right way, calling the right plays at the right time. How many times have we been frustrated with play calling, thinking you're not utilizing XYZ player the way they should be used? You know what I mean? Or you don't run when you should run and you pass when you should pass. That type of stuff has been going on. But, you know, this fan base tends to focus on one position. And my thing is this. I believe in Deshaun Watson's talent.
Oh, yeah,
but I also believe that we only got a short window of time for that to come through. So with that money situation and how it's going to affect the roster in the future. So we got it. We need to get it. Come on in here, man. Oh, hold on, man. I just want to say what's up to my guy. I'm sorry, man. I'm on a podcast. DJ Cashflow, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just think it got to work out.
What I saw last year, Deshaun, he looked at all right, but a lot of people, they was like, they always put him down. He didn't look bad. He looked because he was a year off. But I also saw the line not holding up. That's what I saw, the line. We paid a lot of money on this line, and they didn't hold up, and we had a lot of injuries too.
We had some injuries. I think that was a combination of injuries, Deshaun not being up to speed on the playbook. Obviously, if his timing is off in alignment, that, you know, you only should have to hold your guy for a few seconds,
3 seconds or more.
You know what I mean? So, and I know that Kevin Stefanski's offense is about timing. You know what I mean? And so it's not, he doesn't design his offense to be this freelance You're supposed to know where everybody's going to be, make a quick read, and deliver the ball. And we should be fine. I think, we have 2 Pro Bowlers on the offensive line. We have Batonio, Teller, we have Conklin. I think the offensive line will be fine. Jared Wills is fine at left tackle. They've been good for us before. So I'm not necessarily worried about the offensive line.
They was good when Jacoby was playing, but I don't know. I don't know if.
But like I said, a quarterback playing a different style will get an offensive lineman in a different predicament.
Yes. Yep.
So hopefully, with a full off season, everybody working together, it'll look a lot more cohesive. I mean, it better for 230 million.
When you spoke up of Stefanski, I like our team. I somewhat like him. Do you think he's smart enough to take us to the Super Bowl? Him and his play calling?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I gotta understand. I mean, if he seems like he wants to pass more than he wants to run. A lot of people call us a running team, but I'm like, are you looking at these stats? I'm going through everything after the games to put all this information into the wraps. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at stats. I'm looking at run to pass ratios of all these games. We pass way more than we run. And that's just been the case. Even with an injured quarterback. I didn't understand it, but that's what we were doing, passing more than we run. And I don't know if they were trying to, I hear all this preserves and Nick Chubb. Okay, well, thank you. Since you decided to be BSing around, at this point, I'm glad you preserved him. But now you got to run him. I'm sure Nick Chubb would love a rushing title. He been right there knocking on the door. You know what I mean? And to me, it's situations like that endears a coach to a team. It's like, okay, we're not going to the playoffs, but Nick Chubb is 200 yards away from winning a rushing title.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that I wish Stefanski would kind of pick up on and do, because I just think that would endear him more to the fans. I think he's a smart coach, but I think he's a little too smart for his own good at times.
He outsmarts himself, and that's when I say that, is he smart enough to like what you just said? In like a couple years ago, the COVID year, when all our wide receivers had COVID, he put tight ends out there. He passed all the time, and he when on 4th and inches, he takes Chubb out, put Hunt in. It's situational things that he does or when he used to take on a kickoff, when the game starts, he take the ball first. Be like, what are you doing?
There's been a lot of things that baffle me about his decision making, which is why people questioned whether or not he should be calling the plays or just go ahead and manage the game, because he does slack in game time management near the end of games. And I'll give you inexperience from being a head coach, but once you've been named head coach of the year, I can't give you those excuses anymore.
And that was my thing. It just, I know he's a rookie, but I want to see some progression. I want to see him get a little bit better in his play calling and in timing, timeouts, and all that stuff. That's the only thing that I see was wrong with him. I don't mind him, but sometimes he gets a little too cute.
And I will remind everyone that we never looked more dominant than when we played the Pittsburgh Steelers in that playoff game. And the one factor about that is Stefanski was sitting at home in his basement that day.
I tell everybody that.
So I just say, Stefanski does get in the way of us rolling on teams sometimes. I feel like we should always be able to do what we did in the playoffs. Our team is built to perform like that on a regular basis. To this day, and I mean now even more than ever, now that we have a quarterback the caliber of Deshaun Watson on the team, if we're going to get the real Deshaun Watson, not whoever showed up last year for those last 6 games, if we're going to get the real Deshaun Watson, y'all got to think about that for a minute. Think about the talent that lives within this individual and
Oh,
what
yeah.
he's accomplished in his lifetime. You know what I mean? In his football career. He's a beast. So, and people are kind of forgetting about that. And I know some people don't even want to acknowledge it based off of what the off-field things.
Yeah,
Like,
no, yeah.
I don't want to say, I don't really want to.
Yeah.
But like, if you can it's not about getting past it. That whatever happened there is weird. I wasn't in that situation. I'm not even here to excuse any kind of inappropriate behavior.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, let's talk football.
Football.
And the caliber of player we know Deshaun Watson to be. And
Yeah.
you mean to tell me you're gonna pair that with a Pro Bowl offensive line and arguably the best running back in the league, a sure enough, reliable number one receiver, and we've already seen the potential of David Njoku, and we've already seen the potential of Donovan Peoples-Jones. And you mean to tell me you gonna put a quarterback in here to get these guys the ball, and we bring a receiver over who's, from everything I hear about training camp, Elijah Moore has been getting busy in
That's
training
what I was
camp.
going to ask you about. What you hearing about Elijah Moore up there in Cleveland?
I hear Elijah Moore has been showing out in training camp.
Mm-hmm.
And he's quick, he's fast. He's wearing the number 8, which is one of my favorite numbers. It is my favorite number, 8. So I just don't understand why people can look at this roster and then try and just overlook it. Like,
yeah,
you know, and people want to talk about these other AFC teams, Cincinnati, the Jets, because they have Aaron Rodgers getting more confidence than the Browns, and the Jets haven't been good since Joe Namath.
Right, they get more credit than us
because people believe in, because it's a big, it's New York, it's Aaron Rodgers. I get it. We're the Browns. We've always been people's favorite target when it comes to sports jokes. And so I think people are comfortable with us being in that space. And I think, and this is just, and I ain't talking about Browns fans. I'm talking about from the outside looking in, because I've had a chance to live outside of Cleveland and see how people just view this team, just random people I would meet. If a sports conversation come up, you bring up the Browns, they always got something slick to say. It's like, no matter where I've been, you say you're a Cleveland Browns fan, somebody who's not a Browns fan that's from somewhere else is going to have something slick to say.
And it's like that all over the web, because sometimes I try to talk stuff with Pittsburgh Steelers fans and all that stuff. So I just type in the web, Cleveland Browns beat Pittsburgh Steelers, and all I get is all memes of bad talking the Browns. I'm like, man, I searched it in there, talk stuff about them, man.
So where are you located at right now?
I am in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
I'm from Youngstown, Ohio.
So I know in Youngstown, there's a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers fans down there.
My wife is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, unfortunately.
Or out there. What is Youngstown? Is that south? Is that south of Cleveland? East? South of Cleveland?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. People that are from other parts of Ohio jumped on the bandwagon of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We get it. I grew up in the 70s. Yes, I know about all the Pittsburghs. Great times in the 70s. I get it. And they had a couple with Roethlisberger.
What do you think? Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. Like, I just, I get it. They have bragging rights.
And they got a big one with Big Ben. That he had more wins at Cleveland Stadium than any of our QBs. That was sad.
That's okay. I'm glad we sent him home crying.
Yes.
I'm glad we were able to put the nail in his retirement coffin. So anyway,
Yes. Okay.
It ain't.
What do you think about Cincinnati week 1? I didn't want them week 1. I really wanted a easy win at home.
But people think I'm crazy for my view of the Cincinnati Bengals because everybody is Joe Burrow. Oh, he went to the Super Bowl in his second season. So did Dan Marino. Guess what? Dan Marino never went back. So I always point to the head-to-head matchup. And since Joe Burrow has been drafted, and a lot of people say, well, that don't even matter because they went to the Super Bowl. Well, it matters to me.
Oh, yeah.
It matters to Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, who admitted up until last year when Deshaun Watson was out there trying to feel his way out, they had never beat Cleveland.
At all.
Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, him and Jamar Chase, up to that last game when we played when Deshaun Watson was the quarterback, they had never beaten the Cleveland Browns. And ladies and gentlemen, I know the Browns didn't handle their business outside of this Cincinnati to be in a position. But what I say that I speak to if we are in playoff contention, I'm not worried about the Cincinnati Bengals because I've seen time and time again that we can beat Joe Burrow and Chase in them.
Yeah, when me personally, I'm not saying I'm worried about them. It's just like how you said so many bad things on Cleveland. Like last year, I'm just trying to erase all the bad negativity about Cleveland. Last year, we finally won our first game of the season, even though it was on the road. We won. We knocked that out. Now we haven't won a home opener in 12 years. I'm just trying to get rid of all those bad things. We haven't won a home opener in 12 years. And it was the first game of the season.
We won the season opener last year.
Yeah. That was another one that we haven't won that in like 12 years. So we haven't won a season opener and a whole opener in like 12 years, and we just finally did that when we beat Baker last year. Now this year, when we still haven't won a season opener at home.
So why not give us a team that we always beat then?
Hey, I like it. Talk your stuff.
You know what I'm saying? We might not beat the rest of the league, but we do beat the Bengals.
Yes.
Currently constructed. The Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase Bengals, we are 4-1 against them.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like we're a bad matchup for that team because Cincinnati has a struggling offensive line. We have an improved defensive line. That's a bad matchup for them. If you got a bad offensive line, you probably don't want to be facing the team with the most premier pass rusher.
And I think we a mismatch for them because we deep at cornerbacks too. They got all them wide receivers, but we got the corners that can lock them all down.
But the problem is, for them, is Joe Burrow having enough time to sit back there and find them.
Yeah.
Because I'll take our defensive line over their offensive line. I've heard they've made some adjustments to try and resolve their offensive line issue. We'll see if that's the case. But if it wasn't for Deshaun Watson, like I said in the song, practicing last year,
yes,
they would not have beaten us. And so I'm saying if all things are equal, the Browns are in playoff contention, in contention to win the AFC North, and Cincinnati is too. I feel like we have the edge on the head-to-head matchup based on the history. Now, some people, it's cool to incorporate history in some conversations, and it's not cool to incorporate history in other conversations. Because what I've been met with this particular point that I'm making is that doesn't mean anything because they've gone to where we want to be. And I'm like, good for them.
Yeah. I think we got a better matchup because they got the same team that we used to them. They ain't seen Watson at his best, so they don't know what we coming with.
But the thing is, we've beaten Cincinnati with Johnny Manziel. We've beaten Cincinnati with Baker Mayfield. We've beaten Cincinnati with everybody we've brought to them. So I'm just saying, now that we have a quarterback who should be a top 5 quarterback, what would be the problem beating Cincinnati with them?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not worried. I'm congratulating Cincinnati for the success that they've had, but I don't worry about them head to head versus the Browns. I'm more worried about the Ravens than the Cincinnati Bengals.
Me too. That Lamar Jackson. That running. That's hard to stop.
Well,
I don't care.
The last time we played Lamar Jackson, they barely won, and then there was a weird false start on a kick field goal and moved us back 5 yards, and he missed the field goal. I saw Baker Mayfield go toe-to-toe with Lamar Jackson. We lost, but that wasn't because we didn't keep scoring on them. It was because the defense kept giving it up. So if we've resolved the defense, to me, which was the main problem, I don't feel like we should be concerned about the offense. If this offense don't move, then the coach, it's going to be all about Kevin Stefanski this year. The blame will all be heaped on Kevin Stefanski if the offense isn't successful this season. It will be all about Kevin Stefanski. So I'm more worried about the matchup of Baltimore than Cincinnati. And like you said, it's because of the Lamar Jackson running factor. But if Jim Schwartz has designed a defense that will attack him differently, will play Lamar differently and have people in better position to get hands on him when he takes off, I think we'll be fine. And we should be able to keep guys like Lamar Jackson off the field.
Do you think we improved on defense?
Yes, with the addition of Zadarius Smith.
Yes.
A sack leader in Minnesota. He's going to give us what we thought we were going to get from Jadeveon Clowney.
Yes. What we thought.
The player we thought we were going to get in Jadeveon Clowney, we should be getting from Zadarius Smith. And that being the case, him and Miles, this man, what does Zadarius have, like 12 sacks last year? And you going to pair him up with Myles Garrett, who's, what he bringing. So
we got Thornhill, safety,
Delphin. And Dalvin Tomlinson came over as well to plug up the middle. So we should be better against the run. We should be better overall, period. And if Jim Schwartz is going to come with an attacking style defense, I can't wait. Now, the question mark would be linebackers. I know Anthony Walker Jr. is back from his injury.
I was just about to say that.
And he's a good player, and we're going to need him because the linebacker situation was, to me, the biggest question mark. I felt like we were very undersized at linebacker, and we couldn't rely on a guy that was a linebacker to bring the running back down by himself. Owusu Koromoa is a good football player, but he don't need to be playing linebacker. He needs to be playing safety.
Well, I believe that to me, just me, I think when we got him, we got Clowney, I think we were just building a defense around some people with some speed to catch Lamar Jackson. I think
that's all fine and dandy, but we're not gonna play Lamar Jackson but twice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel you on that, but I think if you make Lamar Jackson play from the pocket, that's how you beat him.
Oh yeah, make him.
You don't want to get him running around. If you make him throw, and I know they've added Odell Beckham Jr. to the team.
I ain't worried about
But think about that though, Cleveland. For all the people that were on the Odell Beckham side of the whole debacle that went on, think about that. You You capped for Odell Beckham Jr., who, in my opinion, never wanted to play in Cleveland. I don't think he ever wanted to be here from the jump. I would listen to his press conferences and I would hear things that he was saying. This is just me trying to psychoanalyze what I was hearing. Am I an expert? No. But I never heard him say anything that made me think he was all in to play for the Cleveland Browns. Even when he had got on our team, he went on a podcast still talking about the New York Giants. And I just thought when the deal was done that it was a mistake to bring him here. The timing was bad based on what was happening. They just fired Hugh Jackson. They everybody was loving Baker Mayfield at the time, and Jarvis Landry then took command of the wide receiver room. He's the leader in the blah. So all of this is going on. And they decided next year, here, I know what would be a good idea. Let's throw Odell Beckham Jr. in there. Odell, emotional guy, ego guy, he said this out of his mouth. He said, I feel like New York sent me to Cleveland to die.
Yep. But
his whole attitude was, I'm going to show them that I'm not going to die here in Cleveland. But no, there's no buts.
Yeah, but no, because everybody talks about, I'm an Odell fan.
Go ahead.
I'm an Odell fan, and everybody that said that he never wanted to be in Cleveland, and he said, Cleveland, what y'all mean? I bought my first house in Cleveland. So that don't mean nothing?
Buying a house means something?
That's what he was saying. He bought his first house ever. He ain't never bought a house ever. With all the money he got, he bought a house in Cleveland because he was expecting to stay.
Dude, you can buy a house and live wherever the hell you want to. You can have a house in Cleveland. You can have a house in Miami. You can have a house in LA. Like, buying a house don't mean nothing to me.
That don't sell you?
Nah, man. Because that's like saying I have a black friend. You know what I'm saying? like, no. I needed to hear and feel that he really wanted to be there. I think what they thought was that they could, Jarvis Landry was here, that's his boy, things would work out like that. But I feel like he was just in a weird headspace for being, in his mind, shipped out of New York.
Yeah.
He felt slighted to be sent here. And I don't think he bought into what we were trying to accomplish here. I think he had his own individual things he wanted to do. He might have wanted to shine to show y'all made a mistake, but I don't think it was for Cleveland because
he wanted to clear his name up for being bad.
He dropped too many passes.
Jesse, that's why we were talking about them hands earlier. That's why I was saying we need some.
He dropped too many passes. And a lot of people, they talk about the video that his father shared the link to, and that's fine. To me, we shouldn't have been passing the ball as much. It's not about who the quarterback was. It's about your coach realizing what these players can and can't do and coaching accordingly. Yeah. Like Kyle Shanahan does. You know what I'm saying? If you could damn near get to the Super Bowl with a rookie 6th round quarterback, you mean to tell me that we couldn't do the same thing with what we had? So, and we were in the playoffs. So it's not about settling for whoever. I just want the coach to understand your personnel and use it accordingly.
Yes.
Every football team is different. You got to rock with what's going to get you there until you have something that, if you want your quarterback to throw 40, 50 times a game, you got to have that type of quarterback on your team before you do that.
Yeah. Okay. When I got a comment right here, it says no excuses this year. AB got everything he needed. Basically, me personally, I don't know how you felt about Dorsey or how you feel about Andrew Berry. and you've been a long time Browns fan.
Mhm.
I think I love Dorsey and I love AB. I don't think we ever had GMs like this to bring us players like this. Not when they're about to retire. We never had GMs that bring us teams like this.
No, I love what's on our roster. And like people will say, well, we look good on paper, but I know there's a lot of people who are hesitant to believe that it will work out based on our history. But yeah, man, I think Dorsey, I like what Dorsey did as far as changing the culture up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Andrew Berry is a lot more savvy in his moves. He thinks things through a little bit more. Dorsey want to make the big splash move. Like, I'm going to go bring in Odell Beckham Jr. and you know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? I'm going to do it like this. But Andrew Berry is making moves that people aren't necessarily paying super close attention to. But if you look at it, you're like, oh. You know what I'm saying? And it's still a question to me about the guaranteed $230 million, because I need to see a Super Bowl appearance during Deshaun Watson's contract.
But if no Super Bowl appearance, no maybe some little bit of playoffs, is that on AB or the coaches? His job is just to bring him there. The coach got to coach him up.
No, it's not on AB. Like I said, if I like what I see on the roster, AB did his job.
Yeah, a lot of people thinking it like it's a make or break year for him. I'm like, for what?
It's not a make or break year for AB, but if we don't make it to me, it's a make or break year for Stefanski.
Yes,
it's Stefanski before AB.
Lose his job.
On your job, they're gonna be on him about his job this year, because like our friend here is saying, no excuses. We are talented. We are just as talented across the offense and defense as any team in the NFL. We are just as talented as any team in the NFL across the roster. In all of the key positions that you need to be talented, we have premier players.
When our kicker's still questionable, I hope he come to play. I like yours.
No, I'm talking about
defense.
The quarterback, the running back.
Oh yeah,
the pass rusher. We have solid corners who have been one. Denzel Ward has been a Pro Bowl corner.
Mm-hmm.
We got solid guys. We just brought a Pro Bowler over from Minnesota.
Yeah.
So we got players.
We can match up with anybody, and that's why I said, can the coach get us there? Because on paper we can match up with anybody, but will he get outsmarted?
And that's the whole thing. We shouldn't have. Do you remember part of the season last season when Jacoby Brissett was the quarterback? I think we had some kind of streak going where we had a touchdown on every opening drive.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that should be happening all the time.
Yeah.
We should have no problem marching down the field and scoring on people, in my opinion. Now, I know defenses are going to make adjustments, and this is not me trying to slight other NFL teams. I'm just saying, if you can get down the field with Jacoby Brissett and get in that end zone, it only stopped when Watson started playing.
Yeah. Yep.
It stopped when Watson started playing. So if this full off season, this full training camp, OTAs, all of that's been, there should be no reason why we shouldn't look great, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And this is it for me. Like, for my season tickets.
I want to ask you about that too.
What about it?
Now I didn't saw the season tickets from the I think it was the Raiders. Do they send you a box? Do they send you anything? How do Cleveland do it as a season ticket holder? I mean,
I would say some years it was good,
mhm.
but in the most recent years, it's been bad. Like I can't even lie.
And I saw a video on one. It looked pathetic.
Yeah, them hats they sent still in the
Yep,
box
yep.
somewhere. The painter hats or whatever. I'm like, why would I rock a painter hat? Like, why can't I
Yeah,
get a new era or something? Oh, sorry, my
yeah,
phone.
you're good.
It's because it's vibrating. But this year they're sending us jackets, which is nice. So we got to pick brown, orange, or white. They're like starter jackets.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm like, okay, y'all stepping it up a little bit from last year.
Uh-huh.
I like that. That's something very useful. A
You
jacket.
like the new logo?
I'm cool with the logo. I think the dog looks hard to me, but I mean, I've seen similar logos. I don't think it looks like something so unique. It's not something like, oh my God, the Browns logo that's the craziest dog I've ever seen. No, but I mean, if you really take a look at it, if you've seen a dog like that on the street, you might cross it.
Okay. Now I'm gonna get you out of here with like two more questions. This one right here, we're gonna see how much of a diehard Browns fan you are. Me, I'm a diehard Browns fan, but like I said, I like to change a lot of narratives.
Okay.
What do you think about our uniforms and our helmets? Would you change them, or do you want something on it?
Well, it's funny you bring that up because I just got into a debate with some friends of mine about how we honor Jim Brown. So rest in peace to the great Jim Brown, passed away. And it's unfortunate because I feel like this might be a great season and it would have been nice for Jim Brown to be here for that.
Yeah.
I thought of the idea to put 32 on the helmets. Remember when back in the day the Browns have a throwback helmet that has the number on it? Their number, whatever number they were. I was saying, why don't we make 32 a logo? Not no box letters or nothing. The same little thin 3 and 2 that was on the old helmets. Put a 3-2 on everybody's helmet. Just like when they honor Jackie Robinson and everybody's wearing 42, in baseball. Put the 32 on the helmet forever. And then when moving forward, when people say, or some young fan says, why are they called the Browns? Like, they're named after Jim Brown.
Okay. Yeah, I get your concept.
But I was met with, that's just overkill. It's overzealous. It's da-da-da. I was just like, why y'all being so technical about it? It's just, we wore numbers on helmets before. Y'all think it looked crazy because it say 32 on the helmet and 19 on the jersey? Nobody cares about that.
And that's what I'm saying. Some of the older Browns fans, or they're just hardcore, they don't want no changing. And me, I'm like, we've been voted the ugliest uniforms for the last 50 years. I would like to have a nice uniform to put on.
I don't think our uniforms are ugly.
It's when you end up liking something, you just like it. But just an orange helmet with just the stripes.
I honestly like the fact that the Browns are the one team. It makes us unique in that way, that we don't have anything on the helmet. So that does set us apart from every other team. Because, these people, we playing against the Cardinals. A Cardinal isn't hard. You know what I'm saying? These type of birds that we playing against, like all the bird teams this year, even in the preseason, we get the Eagles, we get the Cardinals, we got the Ravens. We playing against, who else is a bird team that we playing against? We got all the bird teams. We gonna see them this year. And I'm a Leo, so I like the Lions logo. But Detroit has been just as bad as the Browns from an NFC perspective never having making a Super Bowl. They don't have our championship pedigree from back in the day, but the Super Bowl, which everybody argues, I can't count my championships because they weren't called Super Bowls back in the day.
I count them.
Yeah, I count them too. We count them. We count them all over the stadium. They got it all up in the rafters.
Yeah,
they counted at the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? It counts in Jim Brown's trophy case.
Right,
so
right.
I will take that. We do have rings, so let's cut it out. But as far as the helmet, if they were going to do anything, I would say do that. But I don't know if everybody agrees. That's just something I thought about. It's my opinion. It's not really trying to argue the logistics of it. I just thought that would be a cool way to immortalize Jim Brown forever.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So I don't think you should put that new dog on the helmet. I don't think the elf should be on the helmet. I don't think none of that should be on the helmet. It's too late for all that. We're the Browns. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to say we're the Jim Browns instead of the Paul Browns.
Okay. And I'm gonna get you out here with this last question. Now you say we got the offense, we got the defense, we somewhat got a coach, we got everything. We somewhat got a nice schedule.
Fourth place schedule.
You say a what?
Fourth place schedule.
What you mean?
That's what they call it. I mean, you know how they set up the schedules year in, year out. We were in last place. So all that really means is, go ahead, finish your question first.
The strength of the schedule. Yeah, no, I was going. What's your prediction? What's your prediction?
Did you hear what I said in that rap? I meant every word in that rap. And no, and I didn't say we were gonna win every game, but I just said we were gonna show up and we should be a hard team to beat.
Yes.
For anybody that's on the schedule. Now, like I said, I feel like we're gonna beat the Cincinnati Bengals like we always do. So we're playing against them. Dude, we've been sweeping them until Deshaun Watson shows up. So I'm not. If we get the real Deshaun Watson, we should go back to sweeping Joe Burrow and Chase. And yeah, I said it. And anybody that's from Cincinnati or you're a Bengals fan, you got a problem with me, come see us week 1. I got a season tickets. As a matter of fact, you can be up in Cleveland Brown Stadium. It's not First Energy Stadium no more. It's Cleveland Brown Stadium. So
I say we split them because that the last game of the season, I put a question mark by that. We don't know if we're gonna play, who gonna play, if we in the playoffs and all that stuff.
That game might be for the division. You never know.
Yeah, it could be.
You never know. I just feel like it's set up perfectly. We start with Cincinnati, we end with Cincinnati. Now, if there's any WWE going on in wrestling, like they say, that game will be important. I don't want to go too far saying some of this stuff is, for entertainment purposes, but stuff be happening. You never know. But we playing against the NFC West and the AFC.
No, I thought it was the AFC. No, we got one game in the AFC.
No, we're playing against the AFC West. So we'll see Denver.
Yeah.
No, we're playing against the NFC West, excuse me. So we'll see Seattle, San Fran, LA, and why do I always forget the 4th team of the West? I feel comfortable playing all of those teams because the LA Rams, you see what's happened with them last year.
They done.
That's what happens when you buy a Super Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway,
and he said it in his rap.
So I feel comfortable against teams like the Seattle Seahawks and, even San Fran. They don't really know what their quarterback situation is going to be. I know they have a good coach, and but who are we playing in the AFC?
We got Denver.
But I mean, are we playing against the whole AFC West? We don't know because we're not playing Kansas City this year.
No, we only playing the Broncos.
Right, because that's that 4th place schedule. Broncos come to 4th place. We always got to see one AFC team from each of the other divisions that we're not playing in total, and we'll see the team that ended up in the same position as us. So out of that, we got the Jets in the East. So we're playing against the AFC South then, because we see Jacksonville this year.
Yep.
We go to Houston.
Yeah.
We got Indianapolis and Tennessee. So yeah, we're playing against the whole AFC South, and that division sucks.
Okay. So it seemed like you know the divisions, and I always have a debate with my brother and my boy. They in the AFC West. They're a Raiders fan and a Denver fan. And I tell everybody, our division, we have the hardest division with Baltimore, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and us. That's a hard division. You ain't got 4 good top teams like that in no other division. I think we got the best division. They think that Denver, the Raiders, Kansas City, and what's their last? I always forget their last one.
The Chargers.
The Chargers. They think that them 4 is better than our 4.
Look at the track record of the teams you're talking about, sir. Let's just go in totality about playoff appearances recently in your lifetime. Let's just go back. Let's talk about the Chargers. 1 Super Bowl appearance in my lifetime, and that was in the 90s. Let's talk about the Raiders. You got to go all the way back to Rich Gannon.
Yeah.
When Gruden was coaching, this last time they was making some noise. Who was the other team?
Denver.
Denver. You going back to Peyton Manning?
Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning. Yes.
It's the most recent Denver situation that was successful, but outside of that, it hasn't been good. And I wouldn't be talking about, Denver got to all those Super Bowls when we should have gone.
Yeah.
And then they got their tails kicked in after we would lose to them in the AFC Championship game when John Elway was, before he actually won a Super Bowl. A lot of people don't know that those Super Bowls that they made it to it got destroyed. I really feel like the Browns would have been a better matchup had we gotten past Denver. I don't know what our deal was back then. But anyway, compare those track records to Ravens, Steelers. Nah, bro.
Yeah. And
the Steelers alone, even though I don't want to give them their props like that because I'm a Browns fan, but come on, man.
Yeah.
The Steelers have always been one of the most respected teams in the NFL. And then you have the Baltimore Ravens, who have a couple Super Bowls in their tenure. And in this modern day and age.
Yeah.
And then they're in playoff contention with Lamar Jackson. So come on, man, don't give me. I mean, I don't know what Sean Payton is going to do with Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
It was a disaster last year. So let's just chill with the AFC West being the toughest division. They're not even better than the AFC. They're not even better than the AFC East. The AFC East is the better division than the AFC West right now, with Miami.
I'll say Miami.
And Miami being a better team now, and they just picked up some players. They're gonna be a lot better this year. So
what do you think about Tua's future? You think he can hold up, or
as long as he don't get hit on his head?
Yeah, I want to say because I'm
he's
scared for him. The last
he had 3 concussions last year. Yeah, obviously that's a problem, and they're gonna have to protect him. But if he's healthy, we obviously see that
we know what he can do.
They can win with him. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna be a team. I don't know what's gonna happen with Tyreek Hill. He's got, what did he do? He slapped somebody or something recently. He's had some off the field troubles. But yeah, they got a squad. And the Jets, they are better. They competed last year, and they should be better with Aaron Rodgers. You got Buffalo, who's, even though everybody keep talking about Josh Allen, I'm like, I ain't see Josh Allen show up in no Super Bowl. Josh Allen ain't showed up in the playoffs. I ain't see Josh Allen win through the playoffs yet.
Yeah,
and now Josh Allen's old habits are starting to show up. The reason he was questionable not to be the top pick when he came out was that he threw interceptions. That's starting to come out again. But I digress. Because, you know, us Browns fans, well, a lot of Browns fans always salivating after everybody else's quarterback.
Yeah.
They love everything about everybody else's quarterback or whatever the media says, this guy. And we like, oh, yeah, it's Josh Allen. I'm like, well, we've beaten Josh Allen before. I don't, you know, these quarterbacks, man, I tell you, boy.
And they scared of KC, and we every time
That's
we
the
play
only
KC,
quarterback.
we just take they win by like 3 points or something like that. I ain't scared of KC.
I'm so disappointed that we couldn't beat Kansas City when we knocked Patrick Mahomes from the game.
Yes.
You knock Patrick Mahomes from the game with that much time left in the game, you're supposed to win that game.
You're supposed to, and that's why I keep saying coaching. Well, that was a defensive coordinator that messed that up, but it's just coaching. And like
Kevin Stefanski was back.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the defensive coordinator mess. He wasn't blitzing somebody that ain't played in 25 years.
That's true.
Yeah.
However, as a head coach, you gotta get that,
man. And that's why I said earlier, is he smart enough to take us there? Because if we had a smart coach, then
we went from we dominated the team the week before, and then we struggled on offense the week later. At least in the second half, we did. We did pretty good in the first half of that game.
Is that the game? Is that the game where? Because I was mad because the stats said and that's one thing about Stefanski. He come out with his Freddie Kitchen playbook. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I don't care what y'all doing. And the stats say if you run more than 20 times on Kansas City, the team's like 95% of chance won. Then it was going into halftime. Nick Chubb's only had 3 carries. Where you do that at?
Stefanski likes to pass.
So that's why my question was: is he smart enough to take us to the Super Bowl? Because come on, man, you got to get out your head.
I think his offense works. I think he has good plays in his offensive playbook. I just think he pulls certain plays out at weird times that I feel, why did you call that one? Like, there wasn't a better play in the playbook. Because we've obviously seen this offense have success since Stefanski's been here. So I don't want to just say he's complete trash, but I just feel like his in-game decisions hopefully will be better this year. Circumstantial football. I just hope that he makes those type of adjustments this season. And if games are tight, I think we should be handling teams. To be honest, with this roster, I don't really see why we should have a problem scoring. I don't see why there should ever be a struggle on offense. I want to see how this defense comes together. We got a new defensive coordinator, and we'll see. But I really can't imagine the offense currently constructed that can't move the ball. That should not happen.
It shouldn't happen, yeah. And that's it's our season. Everybody put it on Deshaun. We know what Deshaun gonna do. I think the season all depends on the coach, on what everybody else. What you gonna win? I said I don't know what playbook he coming out with. I don't know how he gonna play.
Hey,
if he play the way he's supposed to, can't nobody beat us. Can't nobody beat us the way that we are. The team is, and if he run us right and pass at the right time, can't nobody beat us.
If Deshaun Watson is back to being Deshaun Watson, I don't really see how y'all going. I don't see how people be like Joe Burrow's better.
Yeah.
I don't really see how, if Deshaun Watson is going to play like Deshaun Watson been playing before the off the field troubles, how do you say that any of the other quarterbacks are better? Obviously, we got to see it on the field with the Browns, but I'm just saying based off the potential of what you've seen this man do already, how can you not have confidence that your quarterback is just as good as, if not better, than most of the teams you'll be playing?
Yeah.
So if you have that as an advantage, I don't really see where you can't be successful. So
Were you on the Sean, or what's his name, Hawkins, DeAndre Hopkins? Were you on that train? Did you want him, or yeah?
no.
I like what I've been seeing. I'm like, nah, we don't need it.
To me, if you go too hard trying to bring in DeAndre Hopkins, it's the same as bringing in Odell. Not that he's the same personality, but I think you get away from what you've been working towards. I think these guys have been together in OTAs and training camp. They've been working together. So then and that's the same thing that was happening prior to you bringing Odell in. Like, this ain't fantasy football. You can't just drop a player that has a 99 rating in there and then just start using him the whole time. You know what I mean? This is real football where you got to strategize a little better than that. It can't just be, all right, he's here now, let's just throw out the playbook and throw it to him. And I feel like that's kind of what would happen if you bring DeAndre Hopkins here, instead of allowing him to build a rapport with some pretty damn good receivers we already have.
Yeah, and I love what I'm hearing about Elijah Moore. I don't know where I want him at. I don't know if I'm even slide or on the outside. I don't know yet. I don't know where I want him.
I think DPJ's your go get it deep guy. I mean, he don't got blazing speed, but he got enough speed to get deep, and he's great at the one-on-one toss up
and getting it. Yep.
You know, and Amari Cooper too. So you really, Elijah Moore should be the slot guy doing the work. This phone. I keep getting hit up. So, but yeah, somebody just said they agree with everything I was saying. Oh, thanks. that was Robert.
Yeah,
that's what's up, bro.
Okay, well then, so I know you said it in your song, but I need you to get out. I need you to give me a prediction before we get out of here. Give me. We had most people are saying 12-5. What you think? What your phone think?
Yeah, my phone is going crazy. It's because it's vibrating. Now I gotta sit up in front of it. Sheesh, bro. Give me 14-3.
14-3. That's how you feeling?
That's how I'm feeling.
Okay.
Damn, 12-5. I want to outright win the division, home field advantage throughout, and you know what I'm saying? Why not, man? The way this team is currently constructed, why not? You want me to be a little bit more modest? 13-4.
I mean, no, I'm with you. I am with you, but I don't want to say that we just the Browns. And I mean, we got it in us. We got it in us. So
if the name Cleveland Browns wasn't attached to this roster, they'd be
everybody
us to the
moon.
About them.
Yes.
So it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to be under the radar. I don't want nobody on our bandwagon.
You're right.
I don't want nobody talking about the Cleveland Browns going to do this. I mean, sure, when they start winning, then people are going to be like, oh, the Browns. But right now, I don't want you on my bandwagon. Keep that same energy you always had for the Browns.
Yes.
So we can come through talking our stuff. You know what I mean? You're like, y'all thought it was going to be the Jets?
Yeah.
We got to face them twice. They're going to Hall of Fame game and in the regular season.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Well, I think his phone. No, he's still on there. I think his phone might have died for the.
No, that was a phone call coming in, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna let you go. I just want to. That's DJ Has TV. I'm gonna put it in there.
Hey Has TV.
Oh no, Hey Has TV. Hey
Has TV, and I'm on
56. I'm gonna have to put that in there because that's what I had to do to look it up.
Okay, well, go ahead. If that helps, get directly to it.
Yeah. Y'all gotta go watch him. Check out his videos. He got his own podcast. He's doing it all. He do TV. He do the radio.
Dish Nation. Catch me on Dish Nation.
Dish Nation, Dish Minute. He does it all. It's a man of many tricks. And after every game, we just can't wait. Sometimes he takes too long to come out with the video, but we can't wait for him to drop a video.
I'm gonna try to be as on point as I was when I first started doing them. You know, I've been doing them. I've been at it for several years now. And my goal in the beginning was like, I'm about to get this song done. I would stay up all night to get it done. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, over the years, it got a bit tough for me to continue to do that. And, you know, moving down to Atlanta and taking on other responsibilities and getting new hats thrown on my head. You know, it's been a little bit tougher to get it done that quick. But this year, I want to be dedicated to getting my videos out by Tuesday, Wednesday, the latest after the games. So nobody won't have to be waiting. Why are you taking so long? No, trust me, I want to get them done as soon as I can. It just doesn't always work out that way. But we are talking about a full song, written, recorded, produced, edited, and
with bars, because
that
condiment ketchup. Oh man, I'm a rapper too, so I saw that was fire right there.
I got to do something with these bars, man. I've been a rapper, like I said, since the early 90s. I've been all in the hip hop, DJing since I was 15. Started rapping. I made beats. I live, sleep, eat, and breathe the hip hop culture, and I work for a hip hop show, so it's all in me. You know what I mean?
I don't know if you was really ready for the season or what, but this one to me had the most bars in it. I don't know if you had more time or what. This was bar heavy.
Oh,
this was bar heavy.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, that was bar heavy. This one right here was bar heavy.
Yeah, well, you know, I could only spend a couple bars on each team, so I had to make them count.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. Like I said, that the ketchup, condiment, and all that's gonna always be, man. Like, did you get it, man? I ain't even gonna spit it back. But I didn't watch it so many times. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, man. You know, gotta respect the craft, man.
Yes, sir.
And give it, and I ain't trying to half-ass. I'm from that era of MCs, so I'm always gonna try to come with the clever metaphors and shit. You know?
Yes. Well, I salute you on what you do, and I'm gonna get on out of here. This is the My Dogs Podcast, where my opinion is my opinion, and that is DJ Hazmatt.
Go Browns.
Go Browns. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.